Okay, so this is your 3 multiple choice question problems for exercise 5.1, solving systems of linear equations by graphing. And depending on if you were with me the first day or if you were on computers the first day, you may or may not know a whole lot about systems of linear equations. So I'm going to review that quickly. A system of linear equations is when you have more than one linear equation on the same graph. And in order for that to also be a system, you have to be using the same variables. And we typically use x and y, but you have to be using the same variables in both equations. So do the equations 4x minus 3y equals 5 and 7y plus 2x equals negative 8 form a system of linear equations. So the equations are linear. So this would be a line if I graphed it, and this would be a line. So in order for them to be linear equations, they both have to be lines. The equations are in the same variables, xy, xy. Therefore, the equations do form a system of linear equations. Okay, exercise 2, which best explains what it means to solve a system of linear equations. Find the values of x and y that solve the equations. Find the ordered pair of x, y that has the greatest values for x and y. Find the ordered pair that represents the point of intersection of the graphs of the equations in the system, or find the x and y intercept of the graph of each equation. So what we want in order to solve, we want to find the x and the y value that would make both equations true, and that's going to be the ordered pair, the x and y value, that represents the point of intersection of the graph. So in other words, when we graph both lines, where do those two lines cross each other or intersect? And we've already used the word intersect when we talked about the y-intercept. So it's sort of the same word, just said differently. Intersection or the intercept means virtually the same thing. Okay, exercise 3. You graph a system of linear equations, like the one up here, for example. So you graph two lines on a graph. And the solution appears to be 3, 4. So it looks like both lines cross when x is 3 and y is 4, which best explains how you can verify that the solution is 3, 4. So is that the right answer or not? So you check the solution in both equations and be sure it satisfies both equations. In other words, plug in 3 for x, 4 for y for the first one, and then do it for the second one, and see if it makes them both true. Satisfies means makes them true, okay? Check the solution for just the first equation. Look at the graph very carefully. Well, you can look as careful as you want, but if you don't go back and check, it may or may not be the right answer. Or check the solution for the second equation. So it's obviously not going to be only check one or the other. We're going to have to check both. And checking both would be better than just looking carefully at the graph. So that would be this one. And that is where you check the solution 3, 4 in both equations. And we will practice that more, hopefully, at some point during class. And the secret word for this video is Adidas. If you write that on the back of a ticket and turn it in, I'll have a special prize for you. Please don't share that with the other classmates. It's only for the people that actually took the time to watch the video and make sure that they got all of these 3 questions right. All right, thank you, and hopefully this will improve your grade by getting these 3 questions.